Here's everything you need to know about the race for North Carolina State Auditor. On the Democratic side, we have State Auditor Jessica Holmes. Jessica grew up in a working-class family in rural Pender County, North Carolina. Throughout her youth, her mother worked at the local meatpacking plant and her family struggled with homelessness. Jessica is a first-generation college graduate. She completed her law degree at UNC, and in 2014, she became the youngest elected commissioner in Wake County, managing a budget of $1.1 billion and representing over 1 million constituents. Following the resignation of former Auditor Beth Wood last year, Governor Cooper appointed Jessica to be our state auditor, and since becoming our state auditor, she has led numerous investigations into fraud, wasteful spending, and misuse of taxpayer dollars. Jessica has shifted the focus of the Office of the Auditor to focus on vulnerable groups such as people with disabilities, seniors, youth, veterans, and other underserved communities. Jessica is running against Republican nominee Dave Bullock. Bullock is running as a tried-and-true MAGA Republican, which is interesting given that until this election cycle, he was registered as a Democrat. Bullock thought it would be easier to run for office as a Republican, so he switched parties, and overnight he cultivated an image of himself as a far-right MAGA culture warrior. Some folks bought it, but a lot of folks didn't. Back in the spring, Bullock barely eked out a win against his Republican primary opponent, but not without spending over $100,000 of his own money to finance his campaign. Oh, come on, like you don't have $100,000 lying around to self-finance a statewide political campaign? As a member of the UNC Board of Trustees, Bullock successfully led the charge to defund university DEI programs, which has made it more difficult for students from economically disadvantaged backgrounds to access public higher education. He also released a really weird campaign ad in which his family begs voters to elect Bullock so that they can get him out of the House and move on with their lives without his constant pestering.
You need David Raleigh auditing state spending.
Boys!
But we really need David Raleigh auditing state spending.
Boys!
Conservative, Republican, Dave Bullock for State Auditor.
Weird pitch, but okay. The North Carolina State Auditor ensures taxpayer money is spent wisely and detects fraud in state government. An effective state auditor should also promote transparency and build public trust by providing independent assessments of financial practices. It's a super important job, and we have two really different choices for who is going to do it. Click the link in our bio to stream the Hometown Holler podcast, where you can hear our conversation with State Auditor Jessica Holmes. She'll tell you what it's like to be the state auditor and why she believes we should keep her on for another term.